This is the hOmeLabs 3000 square feet Energy Star Dehumidifier. The moment you see it, it's clear this thing means business. It's not tiny by any standard, standing at a solid 24.3 inches tall, with a slim and pretty sleek design. I have to say, it looks much better than the older boxy dehumidifiers I've seen before. The white plastic body feels sturdy, and it doesn't look awkward in the corner of a room or the basement. That's something I really appreciate, because I didn't want a giant eyesore sitting in my laundry area. The handle on top, plus wheels on the bottom, makes it surprisingly easy to move around, even though it weighs about 40 pounds. There's a display and the control panel up top, so you don't need to bend down every time you want to check or change the settings. Little details like that just make it feel more thought out. There's also a visual water level indicator on the tank, which I find super helpful at a glance. When I bought this unit, my main concern was humidity in the basement. My basement is about 1,000 square feet, but I looked for a bigger capacity for peace of mind. Humidity down there would spike during the summer, and I had a serious mold problem, so bad that I had to throw away a couple of old leather jackets and a winter coat. That loss hurt, and honestly pushed me to finally invest in a decent dehumidifier. I had looked at so many units, but what convinced me was that this model had genuine reviews going back to 2018. So I felt like I could trust it. Also, people kept mentioning solid customer service and long-lasting performance, which made me feel a lot better about taking the plunge. Setting it up was easy. I just unpacked it, plugged it in, adjusted the humidity setting, and let it do its thing. The digital panel is simple. A couple of buttons to set the humidity level, switch between modes, and there's even a timer if you want it to run for a certain number of hours. If you're new to this, humidity in a home usually should sit between 30 and 50% for comfort. Right now, I keep mine set at 45%, and as soon as the humidity in the room goes above that, the dehumidifier kicks back on automatically. That's what the comfort mode does, and it works even better than I expected. One thing I also want to point out is the tank. It can hold up to 1.6 gallons of water, so it's not constantly filling up, but if you're pulling a lot of moisture out the first day like I was, it can fill up in just a couple of hours. The nice part though is there's an auto shutoff, so the machine just stops when the tank is full. I went even further and hooked up a garden hose to the back drain outlet. It's easy, you just stick the hose in and let it drain into a laundry sink or a floor drain. Since I set it up that way, I never have to worry about emptying the water myself, and that's a serious win for convenience. From my experience, noise was a big concern. I had seen some people mention dehumidifiers can get loud, kind of like a window ack. On standard mode, this hOmeLabs unit is quieter than I expected. It's like the sound of a small desk fan or white noise in the background. It hasn't disturbed my sleep even when running at night in the basement. There's also a turbo mode where the fan runs faster to pull out more moisture. This is louder, but honestly, I only use that mode when it's really damp and I want a quick fix. For daily use, normal mode is totally fine. What I love most about this dehumidifier is its performance. When I first ran it, you could literally see and feel a difference in less than a day. The air felt less clammy and stuffy. I had tried cracking windows, running fans, and nothing helped until I used this. It pulled so much water out the first day that I had to empty the tank every 2 hours. After a few days, things stabilized, and now I only check on it once in a while. The whole basement smells fresher, there's zero musty odor, and I haven't had any more mold issues in my closet. It really gives me peace of mind, especially since mold can mess with your health long term. Another thing I enjoy is just how simple it all is. The casters let me roll it wherever I want, bedrooms, living rooms, you name it. The washable filter pops out easily and takes just a couple of minutes to clean, and that helps keep the machine running efficiently. The digital screen's bright and readable, even in low light. And if I'm honest, I barely have to touch it day to day once I set my comfort level. Especially now I have it draining straight to the sink. It just runs quietly in the background, keeping everything dry. There are a few things that, in my opinion, could be better. The first is noise, especially on turbo, when you really need to pull a lot of moisture out fast. It's not deafening, but you'll notice it if you're in the room trying to watch TV or nap. I'd also mention the size. While I like that it's not a total eyesore, the unit is kind of tall and needs its own spot in the room. So if you live in an apartment or a smaller home, you'll want to measure out a dedicated place for it. Another thing for new owners, the tank, while bigger than average, will fill pretty fast if you have severe humidity, especially at the beginning. That means emptying it every few hours unless you use the continuous drain option. The drain hose isn't included, so plan to get a standard garden hose. And like all dehumidifiers, it does put out a little heat when it's running, something to keep in mind if your space already tends to get warm. Maintenance might be a bit of a hassle for some. I make sure to clean the filter every couple weeks, and I wipe down the inside where the water collects because I don't want any slime or buildup. It's not hard, but if you ignore it, it will affect performance. Also, this model doesn't have Wi-Fi or app controls, so if you're really into smart home gadgets, that could be a letdown. I actually like that it keeps things simple, but it really depends on personal preference. In conclusion, I'd recommend this for anyone looking for a powerful, easy-to-use dehumidifier to handle bigger spaces or a basement. From my experience, it fixed my humidity problems fast, keeps everything dry and comfortable, and just works the way it's supposed to. It's not the quietest on high speed, and you'll need space for it, but the pros easily outweigh the cons. The build quality, ease of use, and performance make this a solid investment if you want reliable humidity control without extra hassle. If you've been searching for a dehumidifier and feel overwhelmed by the choices, I say stop the search. This model really checks all the boxes. If you have questions about using it or want to know more about my experience, leave a comment below and I'll do my best to help. Don't forget to subscribe for more quick reviews and home tips. Thank you for watching.